We didn't start out this week planning to deliver you a scamming story every night, but you've spoken and we have listened to the dozens of heartbreaking stories that have been pouring in about lives destroyed by cold-blooded scammers. The question many of you are asking is, why aren't our banks doing more about it?
I truly did not think that something like that would happen to me. I felt stupid and, very devastating.
At just 18 years old, $13,000 was Emily Crouch's life savings, scraped together over 5 years of hard work. But after picking up a call a few days before Christmas, she lost everything.
I got a call from people pretending to be the bank. They asked me to transfer all my money out of my accounts. It was so legitimate that it was unbelievable that it wasn't the bank. Devastated is an understatement. I was, very depressed, suicidal,
Emily joining a chorus of Aussies who have contacted us after losing it all.
I've been scammed 4 times this year.
Over a number of short weeks, I was scammed out of $159,000.
My mother was scammed over a period of a number of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, in 2 of the major banks to the tune of $305,000.
That $20,000 was for us to put aside should I need a heart transplant.
We wanted to start IVF because we've been trying for a while, so a lot of it was going towards IVF.
They've come back and said, no, we can't do anything about it. It's your fault.
So what are the banks doing to help? Well, at the end of last year, the banking sector announced a scam-safe accord. It includes 6 major initiatives, including transfer limits for high-risk transactions, transfer warnings and delays when payments are made to new payees, name matching to make sure the money goes to the intended recipient, and tougher identity checks for new customers. The problem? 8 months later, there are criticisms that the rollout has been too slow.
They, need to stop dragging their feet. How many more people between now and then are going to be scammed?
So what will it take for the banks to get serious on scammers?
We approached Commonwealth, ANZ, NAB, Westpac, Bendigo Bank, the Banking Association. Would you believe it? None of them was available. Tonight, we are speaking with Stephanie Tonkin from the Consumer Action Law Centre. Stephanie, I suppose the central question now is, how much of falling for scams is a matter of personal responsibility and how much is the responsibility of the banks?
The people we speak to every day on our frontline services have fallen into a scam situation through no fault of their own. Scams are becoming increasingly sophisticated. The scams are all taking place on a banking platform. The banks have technology, they have our data, they have the information to be able to detect and prevent scams from taking place.
So then the question would be, what exactly could the banks be doing? The ABA sent us a statement today when we asked for it, saying that Australian banks have some of the strongest anti-scam protections in the world. Is that true?
Well, I think you just have to look at the nearly $3 billion lost to scams last year. I don't think that those scams protections are working and they need to be dialed right up in the face of scammers innovating. They're becoming even more difficult to detect and more difficult to stop.
Stephanie, we heard the changes the banks are promising to make in their Scam Safe Accord, some of which they say have been rolled out already. Do you think they're going to make a difference?
I think there are some good initiatives in the Scam Safe Accord. One thing that we have called for a long time is confirmation of payee. Many people would expect that a bank is checking the account name against the BSB account number, but in fact that isn't happening, and we're seeing people losing house deposits, large amounts of money because that technology isn't being used. Now, overseas in the UK, they have confirmation of payee technology up and happening and preventing lots and lots of scams. The question is, why is it taking so long here in Australia? We're seeing banks dragging their feet.
Well, why is it taking so long?
It's hard to know why it is taking so long. We have left it up to banks, really, to innovate and protect their customers and look after their customers' money, which is what we pay them to do. And yet we're seeing billions of dollars being stripped out of bank accounts. So really, What's needed now is government, the Assistant Treasurer, to impose the strongest laws possible, including an obligation for banks to reimburse their customers when, through no fault of their own, they've been tricked and scammed.
And what is it that makes that system so good? Why is it so effective in the UK?
I think because it's hitting the bottom line of the bank. If they don't protect their systems and prevent the scams, then in most cases they reimburse their customers.
Stephanie, we've been hearing stories all week, not only this week, you know, the past few years, and it seems to be something that everyone has some kind of attachment to. Is this just kind of the way it is now? Do we just have to accept that scams and scammers are now part of our lives?
I think with the move and the push and expectation that consumers operate online and that we transact online, this is where a lot of crime is taking place. And I think anyone who has spoken to someone who has been harmed by a scam will see the significant change in that person's life, the shame, the embarrassment, the disappointment, and the lack of confidence and trust in our online systems. We need the strongest laws possible to actually make a change and fix this problem.
Stephanie, thanks so much for your time tonight.
Thank you for having me.
So we did reach out to a bunch of different banks for statements, as well as the Australian Banking Association. Some of them did get back to us. You can head to our website if you want to